The heavy steel doors of Madison Square Garden slammed shut. Inside, 1,000 of the world's most famous faces surrendered their cell phones into a glass box. The lights dimmed, the crowd completely froze, and a sudden, torrential rainstorm battered the streets of Manhattan outside. And just like that, Hollywood, the NFL, and the entire world had a new obsession.
Oh, absolutely.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And man, do we have a story today.
We really do. Today, you're getting a front row seat to the American royal wedding. We are taking a deep dive into the July 3, 2026 union of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
The wedding of the century.
Literally. But we aren't here to just read you a guest list or analyze a dress. We are hunting down the reality behind the spectacle. Specifically, we're unpacking the headline that set the internet on fire. Kylie Kelce finally revealing the unscripted, heart-tugging reason her husband, NFL legend Jason Kelce, suffered a total emotional breakdown at the ceremony.
Yeah, that pivot from this global pop culture monolith to a deeply intimate family story is exactly what makes this entire event worth analyzing.
Totally.
Because for weeks, the media was purely obsessed with the scale of it all.
Yeah.
You had a venue built for 20,000 screaming sports fans, retrofitted into an impenetrable fortress.
Yeah, let's actually look at the mechanics of that fortress for a second. Because the sheer logistics of taking Madison Square Garden on the 4th of July weekend.
Right in the middle of summer.
Exactly. And locking it down under absolute ironclad secrecy is staggering. They transformed the arena into an enchanted forest. White-covered seats, acoustic string sections playing cellos and violins.
It sounds beautiful.
It does, but the detail I just can't get over is the glass boxes.
Oh, the phone confiscation.
Yes. They literally made billionaires, movie stars, and politicians drop their phones into transparent lockboxes upon entry.
Think about the psychology of that for a second.
Yeah.
You're taking some of the most powerful people on the planet, people whose entire sense of security and influence is tied to the device in their pocket, and stripping them of it.
It's a huge power move.
It's the ultimate power move.
Yeah.
It forces absolute presence, sure, but it also enforces a non-disclosure agreement through physical architecture.
Right. Because paper NDAs just don't cut it anymore.
Exactly. When you reach that level of fame, an NDA isn't enough. People will risk a lawsuit for a blurry photo that could net them millions from a tabloid.
Yeah.
You have to physically remove the capability to leak.
I look at that level of security and it feels like, a Marvel movie set mixed with the Super Bowl.
Totally.
It feels a little cold, especially when you contrast it with how this whole thing started.
Right, the engagement.
Yeah. Back in August 2025, the engagement was incredibly private. Travis proposed in a secret garden in his own backyard in Lee's Summit, Missouri.
Just the two of them.
Yeah, with a custom elongated cushion, old mine, brilliant cut diamond featuring vintage filigree. It was so intimate. Then, 11 months later, they're renting out a massive commercial arena simply because it's the only enclosed space in New York secure enough to hold their social circle.
Well, you're touching on the paradox of hyperfame there.
Yeah.
They didn't rent MSG because they wanted an arena tour wedding. They rented it because it was a bunker.
A bunker. Wow. Yeah.
But inside that bunker, the opulence was this wild collision of high fashion and hyper-personal choices. You had Dior, Christian Louboutin, and Cartier completely outfitting the wedding party.
Right?
Yet they threw out the traditional bridal party rule book entirely. There was no massive lineup of 12 bridesmaids in matching dresses.
Which is so refreshing.
Right. It was just Taylor's brother, Austin Swift, as the man of honor, and Jason Kelce as the best man.
That feels like a deliberate attempt to retain some humanity amidst all the, commercial machinery.
Oh, for sure.
But then you look at the officiant, and it swings right back into a pop culture fever dream.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Adam Sandler officiated the wedding.
And that is where the collision of these two worlds just becomes surreal. You have Adam Sandler at the altar watching the couple read 20-minute vows to each other from a golden book.
20 minutes.
I know. And the moment that ceremony ends, you transition into a reception where Paul McCartney is on stage singing, "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Wait, I have to stop you there because for those of you listening who are music historians, McCartney hasn't performed that specific song live since September 1964.
Right at the absolute height of Beatlemania.
Yeah, he pulled it out of a 62-year retirement for this specific room.
It's a flex of cultural gravity. It really is.
It is. You have Stevie Nicks, Avril Lavigne, and Ice Spice all performing. And outside the venue, it was just as cinematic.
Oh, the weather.
Yeah, right as Sandler pronounced them husband and wife, massive pink billboards lit up outside MSG reading "Just TNT Married" with the TNT capitalized.
So clever.
And almost on cue, this sudden, intense rainstorm hit Manhattan, washing out the streets, followed immediately by a rainbow arching over the city. You literally cannot write a better script.
Well, the internet certainly thought it was a script.
Oh, you mean the theories?
Yeah, you saw the conspiracy theories immediately popping up that they had somehow seeded the clouds or orchestrated the lighting.
Which is ridiculous, but...
When a couple has this much capital and influence, people assume even the weather is under their jurisdiction.
Well, let me push back on the intimacy of all this for a second.
Okay, go for it.
Because the reception also featured literal carnival games where guests could win raffle prizes, including a 1970s Chevy
A
Chevelle,
literal car.
a car, and they had custom TNT napkins embroidered with the lyrics, so it's going to be forever.
Iconic.
But my question is, when a wedding features car raffles, billboard marketing, and Paul McCartney breaking a 6-decade hiatus, does it lose its soul? I mean, does a billionaire pop culture monolith just become a high-end corporate networking event masquerading as a romance?
I mean, it's the $2 billion question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is incredibly easy to look at the Cartiers and the 1,000 guests and cynically dismiss it as a PR stunt or a branding merger.
Right.
But the inclusion of the raffle, the Chevy Chevelle, the 20-minute handwritten vows, I'd argue those are desperate attempts to inject folksy, normal human traditions into an event that has outgrown human scale.
That makes sense.
It's an NFL player and a country-turned pop star trying to remind themselves of their roots while standing inside a corporate arena.
But amidst the A-list performances and the glass boxes of confiscated cell phones, there was one deeply intimate, unscripted moment that caught everyone off guard.
Yes, there was.
And that's not even the wildest part. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
The tension you just brought up, though, between a private romance and a corporate event, it couldn't be contained inside those steel doors.
No, it spilled out everywhere.
The sheer gravity of this union actually started warping the outside world, turning a private wedding into a geopolitical and financial talking point.
The cultural earthquake surrounding this was inescapable. We are talking about an event that literally moved millions of dollars in prediction markets leading up to July 3rd.
And we really have to explain how bizarre that is for you listening. Prediction markets are usually reserved for presidential elections or like major economic shifts.
Right.
But people were logging on to financial betting platforms to wager real money on the date of the wedding, the designer of the dress, the exact venue. Pop culture has become completely financialized.
It's wild.
Fans aren't just observing the culture anymore. They're treating celebrity milestones like stock market commodities.
And the couple seemed highly aware of that massive economic footprint. Ahead of the big day, they donated $26 million to various charities.
Which is an incredible amount of money.
It is. And that singular move sparked a tidal wave of secondary generosity from their fan bases, raising hundreds of thousands more for kids' nonprofits. It was a massive deployment of capital to offset the sheer indulgence of renting MSG.
It acts as a pressure release valve.
How so?
Well, when you are putting on an event of this magnitude, there's always going to be societal pushback regarding wealth inequality. The $26 million donation is a way to tell the public, we know this is excessive, so we're going to make sure the community benefits from our excess.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It proves this wasn't just a wedding. It was a global summit where every action had a sociological ripple effect.
And when you have a summit, you invite politics.
Unavoidable.
Yeah. We have to touch on this because it was a significant part of the source material. Now, to be incredibly clear to you listening, we are not taking any sides here.
Right. Definitely not.
We are strictly looking at this impartially to show how impossible it is for these two to exist outside the political spectrum. But the chatter reached the highest levels of government. Donald Trump, for instance, publicly wished the couple a lot of luck when asked about their engagement at a press conference.
That alone shows the inescapable nature of their fame. You have a former president weighing in on a pop star's engagement simply because the cultural current is too strong to ignore.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the political spectrum, the guest list itself sparked massive internet backlash from left-leaning fans.
Over one specific guest.
Exactly. specifically regarding the attendance of Stephen J. Demetrio. He is an executive chairman of a government contractor that has been linked to managing massive ICE immigrant detention facilities.
Right.
And he was in attendance at Madison Square Garden.
The mechanism of that backlash is so fascinating to me. Because why was he there?
Well, he was there because he adopted Travis Kelce's longtime friend, Reggie Kane. It was a personal family friend invitation.
And there is the exact collision we are talking about.
Yeah.
To the couple, he is simply the father of a close friend. But to the internet, a guest list at this level is viewed as a meticulously curated endorsement of political ideology.
Wow, yeah.
People expect a celebrity wedding to be a flawless reflection of their own personal values. And when the messy, complicated reality of extended family networks clashes with that parasocial expectation, the fans feel betrayed.
They really do.
They scrutinize the guest list the way journalists scrutinize a state dinner at the White House.
It is a suffocating amount of pressure for a couple just trying to tie the knot.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just analyzing the facts of the fallout here, but it proves that an event of this size cannot remain apolitical. But despite all of that global noise, the prediction markets, the political crossovers, the charity donations, the headlines the following week were not about ICE contractors or Paul McCartney.
Yep.
They were stolen by a single tearful confession on sports radio.
Out of all the highly manicured PR narratives that could have dominated the news cycle post-wedding, it was Jason Kelce who completely derailed the internet.
Set the scene for the week after the wedding. Everyone is under strict NDAs. The guests have returned home from the Marriott Marquis and the Ritz-Carlton. Because phones were banned, not a single unauthorized photo has leaked.
It was a total blackout.
Yeah, the public is staring into a black hole of information, desperate for any crumb of detail. And into that void steps Jason Kelce on Sports Radio 94 WIP.
The man simply does not possess a filter.
No, he does not.
In an era of heavily sanitized celebrity statements, he is a rogue agent of absolute transparency.
He really is. He goes on live radio and drops this massive bombshell. I'll read the quote exactly. He says, "I did cry. I probably cried more at this wedding than I cried at my own wedding, which probably is not acceptable. Kylie's probably not happy about that."
You can physically feel the secondhand panic of husbands everywhere when he uttered that sentence.
Right.
It is classic Jason Kelce foot and mouth syndrome.
The virality of this was instantaneous. Tabloids, blogs, and fans ran wild with it. Now, anyone who follows the NFL knows Jason wears his heart on his sleeve.
Oh, big time.
He admitted on the broadcast, "I'm a crier." But to publicly broadcast that you sobbed harder watching your little brother get married than you did when you made your own vows, that is dangerous territory.
Very dangerous.
The internet immediately started joking that he was sleeping on the couch.
You have to analyze the environment he was in, though.
True.
Think about the sensory overload of standing at that altar. He is the best man. He is looking out at 1,000 of the most recognizable faces on Earth.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney is sitting in the front row, and he is watching his brother, whom he has protected and played alongside his entire life, marry a billionaire pop icon in the middle of Madison Square Garden.
It's a lot.
The sheer weight of the moment would break anyone. Of course he cried. But the translation of that raw emotion into a goofy sports radio soundbite is where the narrative spiraled.
The internet thought Jason was just being his overly sentimental, goofy self. But later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming. The real reason Jason was sobbing, straight from Kylie herself.
The tabloids love a narrative about a clueless husband in the doghouse.
They really do.
But Kylie Kelce is incredibly adept at navigating the media, and she was not about to let that specific narrative stand unchallenged.
She stepped in to set the record straight, and this is where the story shifts from viral gossip into something profoundly moving. On August 6th, just about a month after the wedding, Kylie took to her podcast, Not Gonna Lie, to correct her husband's radio blunder.
It's brilliant media strategy.
Is it? Instead
of releasing a stale PR statement through a publicist, she uses her own platform, speaking directly to her audience, to control the fallout.
First, she hilariously addresses the crying at his own wedding comment, completely diffusing the tension with humor.
Oh, I loved this part.
She assures everyone that Jason did, in fact, cry at their 2018 wedding. She joked, and I quote, "There was a moment in time where I said if he didn't tear up when I started walking down the aisle, I would go back and start again, knowing that someone would have obviously punched him in the nose between me restarting, and he would have been crying."
It grounds the entire ridiculous news cycle. It's a very pragmatic, Philadelphia-style response to global tabloid hysteria.
But then she pivots and delivers this emotional gut punch to her listeners. She explains the actual mechanism behind his tears at Madison Square Garden.
The real reason.
Yeah. Jason wasn't just crying because he was overwhelmed by the spectacle of Travis and Taylor. He broke down because of who was walking down the aisle right before the bride. Their 4 daughters.
Oh, wow.
Wyatt, who is 6, Elliot 5, Bennett 3, and little Finley, who is just 16 months old. They were the flower girls.
It completely reframes the entire event.
Kylie told her audience, think about getting to watch your 4 daughters be flower girls. Okay, that's all the information you get. And she even admitted that she broke down too, saying, guilty. Okay, come on, be for real. He was not the only adult crying in our family.
This is why we have to look past the glitz of these mega events. We are living in a society suffocating on information overload. Every red carpet look is analyzed, every guest list is politically audited, every interaction feels focus grouped. We just spent 20 minutes dissecting Christian Dior, Cartier, locked glass boxes, and presidential shout-outs.
Oh, the spectacle.
Exactly. And what was the actual emotional anchor of the entire $2.1 billion night?
It was a dad.
It was a father, standing at an altar, watching his 4 little girls walk down a custom-built ramp in an arena.
Wow.
It strips away the wealth, the fame, and the global obsession, and grounds the entire American royal wedding in pure, visceral biology and humanity.
Kylie really leaned into that family connection on the podcast, too. She shared these incredibly specific, sweet details about Uncle Trav and the girls to explain why the moment was so heavy.
I love those details.
She described how Wyatt and Elliot are all about rough and tumble play. They love when Travis gets down on the floor and does the throw launch. Bennett is totally different, though. Kylie called her Lady with Pearls, who prefers quieter games, maybe some Barbies, and little Finley is strictly a mama's girl right now.
By sharing those specific behavioral traits, Kylie is actively dismantling the superhero myth of Travis Kelce, the NFL star, and replacing it with Travis Kelce, the willing, goofy uncle who never says no to playing on the floor.
That's such a great point.
When you put yourself in Jason's shoes, standing next to his brother, knowing the deep affection Travis has for those 4 girls, seeing them participate in this massive life transition, the tears weren't about the pop star and the football player. The tears were about his family expanding in real time.
It completely unravels my earlier cynicism.
Yeah.
I asked if an event this massive, with its corporate sponsors and airtight NDAs, loses its intimacy. But stripped of the 1,000 A-list guests, the political controversies, and the media frenzy, the core of the ceremony remained incredibly human. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
The contrast is exactly what makes this story resonate. The machinery of fame is deafening, but a dad watching his daughters will always cut through the noise. It's the one thing money and status cannot engineer.
It leaves us with something really profound to ponder for the future of pop culture, honestly. We just watched 2 massive American empires, the NFL and global pop music, merge in real time.
Right before our eyes.
And to facilitate that merger, Madison Square Garden had to be locked down like a military black site. Guests had their communication devices physically confiscated. As these 2 gravitational pulls continue to combine and the obsession only grows, are we witnessing the absolute peak of the celebrity mega wedding?
Will this level of intense, suffocating public and political fascination force future celebrity milestones to be held entirely behind closed doors?
So there's real possibility.
If the only way to have your nieces walk down the aisle in peace is to rent a commercial arena and confiscate 1,000 cell phones, what does the future of extreme fame even look like?
Yeah.
Are we moving toward a future where true celebrity intimacy can only exist in a bunker?
The fascinating question for you to mull over as the definition of fame continues to evolve. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.